the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to a very special event here on the channel. This is the Zandvoort Masters of MX-5 by the Sunday Drivers' Cup, a series that I've been racing in for this last year or so. Of course, my name's Chaz Draycott. I'm going to be your broadcaster and commentator throughout this evening, and we're bound to have a lot of fun here, of course, in the wonderful, wonderful heart of the Netherlands, this fantastic circuit at Zandvoort. A very historic circuit indeed. It's been around for a long, long time. It's had a lot of different changes and iterations along the way. Of course, the most recent one done in the light of Formula 1 and the Dutch Grand Prix. But right now, we're going to be racing on the much older version that we have here on iRacing, but still, to have such an accurate representation of this track on iRacing is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Not long left in practice right now. The drivers are out there at the moment, just making the most of what they can, using all of the road to get some practice under their belts before we then go into a very short qualifying session, and then of course a 1 hour long race. It's going to be very, very difficult for these drivers. It's a long, long time to drive an MX-5, and if I'm honest with you, I take my hat off to them, because this is not an easy circuit to get one lap correct on, never mind as many as they're going to have to do while this race goes on. We're looking at Dan Mould right now, one of the quickest drivers I've had the pleasure to race in MX-5s. He's only being pipped to the post at the moment by this man, car 1 as well, Mark Draycott from Glowing Disc Motorsport. The German currently right at the top. Sander Borst is third at the moment. Then Martin Postumer from KWF Racing is currently in fourth. As you see on the left-hand side of the screen, though, on the timing tower, we have a lot of different nationalities in today's race. We have a Polish driver, we have Belgians, Venezuelan drivers, we have Bulgarians, we have drivers from the United Kingdom, Germans as well, even the Finnish driver Kalle Koivisto up there as well. There is a whole host of different nationalities represented here tonight in what is bound to be a whole lot of fun. We have 33 drivers currently registered at the moment. We've just had Danny Schottwanger register for the session as Dan Mould goes fastest. Dan Mould goes quickest and has gone into the pit lane 13 thousandths of a second quicker than Mark Reichert. It's going to be interesting to see how that pace stays during the course of the race. It's a very bright and wonderful livery there with Matt Tempest at the wheel, car 68. It's just faster than Louis Correa and Martin Kerren at the moment. Rico Schmidt as well in the Simtech racing machine. We also have Patrick Alders in the Team Year 1 car, a livery that many drivers on iRacing know by now. It's very, very difficult to miss the Team Year 1 livery. Aminul Labakis is with us as well. Good to see him out there again. He's been racing in the Sunday Drivers' Cup this year. Good friend of mine, Jakub Szymanski, in the wonderful RAF painted MX-5 here with the invasion stripes on it and the Polish roundel as well for the Polish Air Force. Of course, a number of Polish pilots in the RAF during the Second World War. Speaking of the Second World War, he's got Tim Lancaster right behind him. Obviously sharing the name with the incredible Avro Lancaster, the wonderful bomber that we had. Stephen Edler, looks like he's got grass all over the car at the moment. The British driver currently 32nd and bottom of the pile so far, but he's still out there going to enjoy himself. Here's Bart Verkerk. He's a new name in the Sunday Drivers' Cup. He recently joined the group and will be, I'm sure, enjoying himself as well out there. Bjorn van Imp is currently 5th fastest at the moment, some 8 tenths though off the top spot, so really does show how quick those guys are up there. The practice session has just come to an end, so we now need to wait for the cars to disappear, which they will do in just a moment, and then qualifying will get underway. We have a brief moment now where everyone disappears, and they will very quickly get back out on track. Mark Reichert straight out of the pit lane. It's not lone qualifying either, it's open quali, so these guys have to find some space on circuit. We'll go on board with Mark and see how he gets on. Now, I'm not sure on that lid. I think, is that a Pedro de la Rosa lid that he has got on there? It was around that time where Pedro de la Rosa hopped into a McLaren, wasn't it? Either way, Mark Reichert just going through Gerlach-Bocht, Hugenholz-Bocht and Hunzerug through this very, very quick section here to the Rod Slotemaker-Bocht, Bocht basically meaning turn, and then Shivlak at the end as you go over the crest. Make sure you don't clip the grass on the left-hand side, get the car turned in nice and smoothly. Don't get on the power too early and wash out wide, otherwise you'll get what's known in iRacing as a 1X, or an incident point. 1X basically meaning 1 times incident points. Whoa, there you go. That's how easy it is to just clip the grass there and go wide. Mark Reichert showing us exactly why you have to be very careful. These things, of course, not all the power in the world, but they're still rear-wheel drive, so they will kick the back end out. Down into Hans-Ernst-Bocht. Fantastic chicane hairpin combo. One of my favourite corners in the world, this. I absolutely love it. Into here, it's got that banking as well. Really helps you on the exit, but then suddenly the banking disappears just as you get out of the corner. And you seemingly lose all grip. More banking here round Kumo. And then the final corner. The circuit really opens up and then gets narrower again as you get on the exit. It really catches a lot of people out. And down the straight we go. It's quite a long straight here at Zandvoort as well, so plenty of slipstreaming on offer for these drivers if they stay close enough to each other throughout the race. But now, Mark Reichert is on to a lap. Bram Klaas is out there with us tonight as well. Another one of the Simtech racing drivers in car 31. We've got Peter Reed, another Simtech racing driver. There's going to be a number of them on track tonight, it seems. Rolled Turf Kroyer. Not Turk Kroyer, my bad. Now that's a livery I've seen on an MX-5 before. A friend of mine, Dan McCauley, used to run that livery as well. And of course, the man behind it all, Sandavada, car 17, part of the Spirit 14 team. I had the pleasure of being in Barcelona earlier this year. I say earlier, it was only about a month ago, in the middle of November, and got to meet Sander in person while I was out there commentating, and it was great to see him. Really great after the year and a half that we've had racing together and being a part of this Sunday Drivers' Cup that he organises. Oh, we've got Jakub Szymanski off the road. That's not gone to plan. I wonder if he got clearance from air traffic control to do that. Keep your eye on this guy as well tonight, Yordanin Tsvetanov, the Bulgarian driver in car 81. Very, very quick indeed. He's had so many amazing drives in the Sunday Drivers' Cup by starting further down the order, coming through the field, and almost took a win from me as well at Texas. We were side by side across the line, and I think I won the race by something silly like 9,000ths of a second. But Yordanin very quick. Kalle Kavisto, of course, is the Sunday Drivers' Cup champion for 2021 for Simulation Racing Leagues. He won the championship with his teammate Michael Ellett, finishing second. I was third in the championship by the end. And here come the times then. Mark Riker goes fastest with a 1:55.8. This is Rutger Gerritsen from iRacing Netherlands. Sander Borst, Patrick Borst. The two Borst brothers very, very quick. I've raced against those two this year as well. Great to see them both out here tonight. Jacob Money as well up there. Ronald Moons, good friend of mine as well from the Sim Racers World community. I've organised leagues with and broadcasted for Ronald quite a lot. He's a really, really top guy. There goes Rutger Gerritsen, who doesn't have a flag up there at the moment, so I will get that updated. And a few others as well, actually. So if you bear with me, I will get those sorted. They just need their details putting in to our system. But all of the times coming in now, and still Riker is at the top of the list. This driver's getting close, but not close enough, I'm afraid. They will need to do a bit better than that to displace him. There was another driver as well, Schottwanger, Danny Schottwanger, that was not on the list. I will update this just now for you all, though. I just want to make sure that we've got all the details correct, and of course it doesn't look out of place on the left hand side, so the overlay may just reload a second. There you go, but now they are included on there as well. So Louis Correa currently 5th fastest. He was the 2020 champion of the Sunday Drivers' Cup. Louis couldn't unfortunately commit to every round of this year's championship, so was not able to hold his crown. I think he finished 7th in the overall standings, so it's quite apt that he's carrying car 77, and he's actually chasing car 7 as well, which is Amanullah Bacchus, the South African driver. Another one that usually races in the Sunday Drivers' Cup. Riker goes even faster with a 55.7. Patrick Borst crosses the line 56.0. 55.9 is his best time so far. A few drivers haven't done laps yet though. Dan Mould is just coming to the line to complete his fast lap. Let's see how he gets on. Wonderful livery and spec map on Dan's car. Looks absolutely brilliant. 3rd fastest he goes with a 1:56.080. Splits the two Borsts, Patrick and Sander. He's right behind car 25 there, which is Henrico Puttenstein. Peter Reed is yet to do a time. So too is Yordanin Tsvetanov, who's just coming through the final couple of corners now. I'm intrigued to see where Yordanin can get himself on this grid. And it's only a 10-minute session, this. It's a very quick qualifying session, so a number of them may not get times on the board. I'll warn you now, you will see me on the grid. My name will be on the grid, because as this was a hosted session, I was an absolute idiot and decided to register for it rather than just clicking watch. So you will see my name listed on the grid, but I will definitely not be racing. I can confirm that. Postema goes into 13th place there in the number 53 car. Gerritsen has gone up to 10th position. He breaks into the top 10. Martin Kerren is up there too. He's also from Glowing Disc Motorsport, teammate of Mark Riker, who is close to finishing a lap right now. Tempest climbs up the order. Any drivers that we haven't seen a time from yet? Yes, Peter Reid is about to come round and complete his lap. We'll go on board with Peter. Just the final corner left to go. Got a few personal bests at the bottom of the screen. Sander Borst, Patrick Borst not improving on his time. Across the line goes Peter Reid, but the lap does not count by the look of it. Must have had an off track somewhere. Patrick Borst has just completed his lap as well. Still no improvements from those guys. Zegelar goes up to 24th position. Lancaster displaces him now. He goes 24th, some 2.1 seconds off. Bram Klaas goes 19th. It's going to be really interesting to see the traffic over the course of this race as well and see if that has a major effect on the front runners. As Sandoval going very, very wide there. This is an outlap though, so he doesn't have to worry too much. Amanullah Bacchus goes 13th fastest. The South African doing a strong job there, just behind Bjorn van Imp. So Sander now goes on to a fast lap. Mark Riker is in the pits, so too is Louis Correa, so those guys will not be putting in any more laps. Sander Borst is off the road. I think Patrick Borst was as well. He might have had an incident point for that. That's thrown their time away. That's Jacob Money in there as well, the Positively racing machine. Great looking livery, that. Very bright and wonderful, asymmetric livery. Porsche Sport in the chat, great to see you, mate. How many Porsches? Well, I'm afraid, I think there's only one, which I think is the safety car, but I can't see it right now. I hope there's still at least one. If not, we'll pretend I'm in a Porsche because I've registered for the session and I've not clicked watch. Either way, don't forget to at least like the stream, get your thoughts in, who you think is going to do well in the race, how you think the race is going to unfold. Of course, do subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media. I'll be doing plenty more sim racing broadcasts in the coming year. I've taken over a number of series as broadcaster, so it's going to be a hell of a fun year on the channel and a very busy one indeed. Qualifying now ends, so Jacob Money completes his session, unless he's going to make this another fast lap. Got a few drivers coming to the line now. Rutger Gerritsen's just come around the final corner. Actually, just ahead of him, Martin Kerren, currently 8th fastest at the moment. Does he improve on his time? No, he does not. Rutger's coming into the pits as well in that very bright green car. Amanullah Bacchus is going for a ride, coming round to the end of his lap. Jakob Smansky across the line to the flight of the Valkyries. No improvement from him by the look of it. Although, no, actually did improve. 26th place for now for him. Dan Mould currently on a lap. Not sure if he's got any improved sectors. I think maybe just one so far. There's a couple of drivers having the odd green sector and improving, but not by too much. I really do love that livery on Dan's car. Insignia shampoo to shower gel, it says. Looks absolutely spot on though, doesn't it? Really nice mix of colours. Just needs the number board to be white, that's all. Oh, as Dan's overdone it. Oh, that was a big, big push there by Dan, and it's one of those corners that really does invite you to push around. And unfortunately, Mr. Mould has ended up in the wall. Matt Tempest has crossed the line. I think that's everybody done. Peter Reid, no, he's not going to finish that lap. I can't imagine Bram Klaas is going to complete this lap. I think he's... Yeah, I think he crossed the line after the session had finished. We'll see, though. It's just under 2 minutes a lap here. Stephen Edler is the only driver so far to be over 2 minutes on his qualifying laps, so shows you how good the pace is. The bright white wheels on Bram Klaas's car. I think iRacing needs to tone that down a bit. Either way, Bram comes out the final corner, makes a run for the line. Is it going to count? I think he's going to go into the pits. Yes, yes he is. So that is going to be the end of the session, everybody. And it's going to be pole position for Mark Riker, Patrick Borst second, Dan Mould third, and Sander Borst in fourth. It's going to be very interesting to see how those Team iRacing Netherlands drivers can work together. And Patrick Alders has decided to... It's a bit late for that, mate. Decided he wanted to go out and give it a lap. Now, iRacing has, of course, added a new feature in recently, which is to click ready to race. So when everyone is done with their qualifying laps, if you are done before the session is over, you can click ready to race, and it basically means that, well, you're ready to race and that the session can sort of end early and doesn't have to go on for the full time. But we now just wait, and there you go, all the cars disappear. There'll be a bit of a blink in and out, bit of a change, and suddenly the crowd get ready to rumble. So Mark Riker on pole position, then Patrick Borst alongside, then it's Dan Mould and Sander Borst on row 2, Jacob Money and Louis Correa, 2020 champion, on row 3, Ronald Moons and then Martin Kerrin, Kalle Kavisto, 2021 champion, in 9th ahead of Rutger Gerritsen. Then it's Sander Vara and Bjorn van Imp on row 6, ahead of Amanullah Bacchus and Martin Postema. Roald Turf Kroyer, I will get your name right, mate, is 15th ahead of Javi Lopez. Then it's Patrick Aldez, 17th ahead of Matt Tempest, Willem van Rassel and Danny Schotvanger. Rico Schmidt is 21st ahead of Bram Klaas, Jodnien Svetanov and Martin Smith. And look, Porsche Sport, it is a Porsche safety car. Then we have Victor Oliveira alongside Jakob Szymanski, Tim Lancaster and René Zegelaar on row 14, Bart Verkerk on row 15 with Peter Reid alongside him. Then it's Steven Edler, apparently me 32nd, managed to out-qualify someone, Robert van den Heuvel and Henrico Puttenstein round out the back of the grid. So there is your pole sitter, Mark Riker, alongside him Patrick Borst. Dan Mould and Sander Borst make up row 2. That's going to be a very, very interesting top 5 and even top 6 with Louis Correa in there as well. Ronald Moons can also be very, very quick. So this is going to be an awesome race. An hour-long encounter. So plenty can go on here. Of course, pit stops involved as well. The cars are limited in terms of their fuel load, so some of them will be forced to pit as this goes on. You can hear the voice of Connery Maddock there in the background over the pit lane. Fantastic to get the voiceovers and announcements and all sorts from some of the guys. But we have a big old grid of cars, and it is beautiful to see. We're just waiting for Szymanski, Verkerk, and apparently me. Sorry, everyone. Szymanski is the last car to get onto the grid, although it looks like he might start from the pit lane because the lights are coming on now. And the Zandvoort Masters of MX-5 event by the Sunday Drivers' Cup is underway. Very, very, very good start by Mark Riker. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like a very dull and bogged down start, doesn't it? But still, makes a great launch off the line. Patrick Borst defending the inside. Dan Mould there with Sander Borst moving around behind him. Let's see how everyone behaves themselves in the mid-pack. There's a little bit of contact here and there. Everyone's trying to go 3 wide. There's a car trying to go around the outside there. That's Willem van Rassel trying to get involved. Oh, a little tiny kiss there of Bram Klaas. But at the front, Mark Riker doing a smashing job of that start. Nice and clean away. The top 9 all in the same positions they started in. We've got cars shimmying around further down. I don't think we've got anybody particularly dropping too many places or having an incident. Big gaggle of cars in the middle here. Look at all this lot as they fan out. Everyone just moving around one another bit by bit, being nice and careful. Rico Schmidt's been off the circuit, but only for a second or so. Willem van Rassel nearly getting a bit of a tap there in the rear from Martin Smith. Nice tidy stuff by the look of it. Oh, Victor Oliveira's gone off. He's on the inside. The watermelon slides back on the road. Good avoidance, but he's not the only one off. Bart Verkerk. Oh no, Bart's chucked it back on too hard. He's in the wall. He's going to scrape along that barrier. Dan Mould, by the way, has overtaken Patrick Borst and Sander Borst. Sorry, he's overtaken Patrick Borst, who's lost 2 positions. Dan Mould getting through. Let's have a look how he did this for second place. He's done it on the exit. Oh, bit of a moment there for Patrick. Loses a lot of ground on the exit. Nicely done by Dan Mould. Biggest mover in the field so far is actually Robert van den Heuvel. He's gained 5 spots in the opening half a lap of this race in the Guinness branded machine. But Mark Riker, car 1, P1 at the moment, looking very, very solid. Patrick Borst's got Jacob Money right behind him. Oh, there's been an incident further back. Javi Lopez is involved. That's Danny Schotvanger in there too. Danny gets going again, but Javi Lopez is out of this one. Martin Smith back on the road after also having a bit of an excursion. Well, this is an hour-long race, so these guys have got plenty of time to sort out their differences. This is Patrick Alders side by side with Rico Schmidt in the 07 car. Is Rico going to cut his nose off around the outside? No, he's not yet. He's going to have the inside for the hairpin. Nice stuff by Rico. And hopefully we see a lot more of that as the race goes on. Drivers giving each other plenty of room, but able to still have a good fight. Here's Patrick Borst. We know how quick he can be. Trying to defend from Jacob Money for the race lead. Dan Mould looking very, very feisty behind Mark Riker. Dan knows that he can't let Mark get away, and trust me, knowing Dan, he's not going to be happy to let him go anyway. He's going to be certainly pushing hard. He's very, very determined as a racer, is Dan. I look forward to seeing how this battle develops. Oh, Jacob Money down the inside of Patrick Borst. Nice stuff. Gets the job done. Just behind them, Louis Correa. He's got a fantastic view of this going on. In 6th position. Looks like Javi Lopez has come back out of the pit lane. Henrico Puttenstein, Bart Verkerk and Danny Schottwanger have all been into the pits as well. We'll have a quick look at some of these little moments that happened further down. This is Javi Lopez. He's got the 31 car down his inside. Oh, he's just kissed that left rear. And he's going to go on the gravel and it spits him back over to the road. Oh, and Schottwanger couldn't do much to avoid him there, I'm afraid. Bart Verkerk and Victor Oliveira, this is where they went off. So Victor's kissed the inside. He's going to suddenly come back to the left. Verkerk veers left to avoid him. But then, of course, has contact with the wall there. And that's going to damage the car quite badly. It was a solid side-on impact. Good to see him still determined to carry on. Here's Ronald Moons now attacking Louis Correa into turn 1. Ronald gets it done, or does he? Not sure if he completely got rid of the overlap. Oh, just about. Ronald chucks it one way, then the other. Nice move, Sunshine. Says to Louis, have some of that. Great battling, though, and we've got it all the way through the field as well. Cars all over the shop. Here's Yordanin Svetnov. Started 23rd on the grid, up to 19th place. His race pace is incredible, Yordanin, so keep an eye on him. Peter Reed's gained 7 spots so far. He's going well. Same too for Robert van den Heuvel, just a couple of places back. Both, of course, benefiting from the attrition of this race so far. It's close here between Bjorn van Imp and Martin Postema. Postema down the inside. Bjorn giving him plenty of room, maybe a little bit too much room as he kisses the grass. Love that spec map on that car. Matte black at the front with the shiny gold stripes down the side, but Postema eventually goes through. Love that livery as well. Really, really nice looking car, that. White on white on white, big fan. Bit further up towards the front though, Louis Correa, car 77 P7, having to defend from Martin Kerrin now, who of course teammates of the race leader, Mark Riker. Looks like Yordanin Svetnov has got past Matt Tempest right now as well. There's a lot to look at, and there's still a long way to go in this race. Tempest back down the inside though, says not on your life, Sunshine. I'm not letting you get away with it that easily. Looking at the front though, Dan Mould trying to slipstream behind Mark Riker. Moves over to his left-hand side. Oh, he gets a wobble on the brakes, does Mark, but look at the way he pitches that car in. It looked absolutely bob on through there, didn't it? Angry looking little cars, these MX-5s, aren't they? They look both happy and angry at the same time. Dan clatters the curb on the inside there. These cars absorb that very well, so he knows that he can use that to his advantage at points. Mark Riker looking nice and tidy so far. Now this field does have a big spread of iRating in it, to be fair. I think the lowest iRating in the field is 595. The highest, well, it's Mark Riker. 5,718 iRating. Dan Mould is 3,900. I think the second highest in the field is actually Bram Klaas in 18th place. He's got 4,056 iRating. But, as I will always tell you, iRating does not mean everything. It's not the be-all and end-all. You get a lot of drivers that only race in leagues and will sit at around the 1,500 to 1,800 iRating mark, but be just as quick as World Championship drivers. I'll open up the gaps on the left-hand side for you so you know roughly where people are in relation to our race leader. Callicavisto has closed up behind Martin Kerrin here. On the way into the hairpin. Hard on the brakes they go. League organiser Sandavara just behind them. And then, of course, Martin Postema. These MX-5s are fantastic for maintaining big trains of cars. And a lot of slipstream off each other. Ed May in the chat. We had a great commentary stint together yesterday, commentating on a 6-hour race at Monza with GT3s and Porsche Cup cars, although a Porsche Cup car. He says, I love these little Mazdas, and I'm not surprised, mate. They are fantastic fun, as we are going to see here now. Look at that. Martin Kerrin pulls out to the right-hand side of Louis Correa. Later on the brakes, down the inside. Callicavisto tries to follow him through. Not sure if it's going to work yet. Martin Kerrin certainly's got that move done. Louis comes all the way over. Makes a tiny bit of contact with him. I think he just wanted to close off that gap to Callicavisto. These guys have raced each other a lot, so they know what they're like. Sander chucks his nose down the inside now as well. Martin Postema's going to have the best view of this, although Sander's off. Oh, one way then the other. Oh, and he gets clattered into. That's Rutger Gerritsen. Bjorn van Imp's off the road as well. Oh, and right into the pack. Postema comes back on. Oh, Sander's going to be absolutely devastated with that one. He's gone back to the pits. We'll have another quick look at how that all came about. Oh, Bjorn, actually, that was as a result after the incident that Bjorn went off. So, Sander was down the inside. Did he clip the curb? Oh, he got pushed from Postema, went back the other way, and then Postema sort of got just desserts, really. He then found himself across the front of Bjorn van Imp, and eventually out of the race. That's absolutely devastating stuff. Look at this, though. Dan Mould now chasing down our race leader, Mark Riker. It's a very angled camera, that. Not sure that's quite where it'd be if you stuck it on the car, but still, we're grateful for it. We'll have to see what Dan Mould can do around here then, as he closes in on Riker. He's going to try and use the slipstream. Riker, it's going to cover the inside line, all the way over to the right. Look at the way that Dan is closing in. Oh, he tries to go to the right. No room there, son. The wall closes in. He tries to carry it in on the brakes around the outside. Sander Borst might have gone a bit deep on the brakes there as well. No, he hasn't. Jacob Money just behind him managed to get it stopped. Louis Correa and Callicavisto still fighting, giving each other just about enough room. Rico Schmidt's just dropped down the order. He's coming to the pits. I'm not sure if he picked up some damage in the incident just a lap ago. Louis Correa all over the grass. Flipping out. Scary moment there. There's top 4, maybe 5, you could say, still together. Patrick Borst just behind them. And then Ronald Moons just off the back of that. We're already 10 minutes through this race. We might still have multiple pit stops to consider here as well. Of course, Sander Borst running the Red Bull livery to celebrate Max Verstappen, his countryman's Formula 1 World Championship title. Mark Riker, though, he's doing a great job so far, isn't he? Holding on to this lead. He's got a lot of very, very quick drivers chasing him down. Continuously as well. These guys are absolutely relentless at chasing him. Bit of a train in the field here. Matt Tempest has got a whole host of cars behind him. Bram Klaas, Willem van Rassel, Jordnien Svetanov, Martin Postema in there as well after his earlier incident. Just trying to see what the damage is like on the car. It seems it's just the front right that's taken a big hit. Real shame about that incident, though. It was contact that didn't need to happen, but it just seemed like Postema didn't realise that he was turning Sander around very, very slowly. And before you knew it, Sander was off. Dan Mould then chasing down Mark Riker for this race lead. Your name here, it says on Mark's car. Obviously, they're after some sponsorship or something. Dan's just got his nose in front. They have to move over. There's a car coming out of the pits. Dan hangs it around the outside. Oh, just clips the rear bumper of Mark Riker there. But Mould certainly applying brilliant pressure now. What's this going to do for his tyres, though? He needs to consider that this is an hour-long race as opposed to the usual sort of 25 to 30-minute race that we have in the Sunday Drivers' Cup. But what's very impressive right now is the fact that they're battling like this. and they're not really being attacked that much by Sander Borst or Patrick Borst. Patrick, by the way, has overtaken Jacob Money for P4 right now. But look how closely Dan is following here. Needs to be careful not to run into the back of Mark. That would cause big upset, I'm sure. That's one of the difficult parts of being the chasing car, though, is not hitting the guy in front when you're getting that close. But Dan's applying the right amount of pressure at the moment. Fantastic battling. Ronald Moons has got Martin Kerren. Sorry, it's not Martin Kerren, I apologise. That is the car that's a lap down. That's Bjorn van Imp just behind. Here's Martin Kerren. Louis Carrera and Kalle Kavisto in tow. They are both our champions from the last 2 years of the Sunday Drivers' Cup. Louis Carrera 2020, Kalle Kavisto this year, 2021. Just shows you the pace that's out there, though. These guys at the front have been absolutely incredible. Around the final corner once again to complete lap 7 for Mark Draycott. Sander Borst looking quite feisty right now, though. He's definitely had a cleaner lap than Dan Mould this time round. And Jacob Money's come into the pits. Jacob maybe trying the undercut, maybe getting fuel early on to get away from that battle, just so he can try and get some clean air. I'll show you just how the track looks at the moment, though. There's definitely a lot more clear air in the middle sector currently. So if you do get away from a number of cars, then you might not have too much to worry about. That might be a bit of a masterstroke from Jacob Money, taking himself out of the situation. Here's Louis Carrera trying to finally get past Martin Kerren. He's gone down the inside. Still not quite got it done, though. Really respectful stuff. Good space given by both of them. Or was it? Oh, no, he's moved over to the right a bit. Kerren's been hit. Oh, that was a real shame. Louis just gradually moved over to the right-hand side. And is Kerren? Yeah, Kerren's going to park it. They have to be so careful. You'll see, though, just on the exit, Louis given him the room, but then just... I'm not... Well, to be fair, Martin came over to the left, but there was just a car's width left on the right-hand side by Louis. So, apologies to Louis for originally saying he moved over, but the two cars seem to just gravitate towards one another on corner exit. And it's tiny moments like that that can make and break your race. If you manage to squeeze through a gap, it's brilliant, but if there isn't a gap left, sometimes it can end both of your races. Oh, we've got multiple cars off. Tim Lancaster's having a bit of a spin here. I think he might have been hit on the way in. Jakub Szymanski also went off the road. Oh, Jakub's just gone in a bit deep there, smacked into Tim. Tim spins the car the other way. And then lets a few other cars through as well. Easy mistake to make around there, just late on the brakes. And gave him the tap that spun him around. And oh, Jakub's gone off again here. Not sure if he's waiting to let Tim through. He's short shifting. Ah, he is. That's really nice of him, to be fair. Fair play to Jakub. He's going to let Tim back through. He says, I'm really sorry. Didn't mean to cause that contact. Good sportsmanship, that. You've got to love a bit of that. Really good stuff. As I think there was just an incident behind it. Oh, no. Victor Oliveira has battered the car into the wall. The front right is completely locked up. That's a very second-hand MX-5 right now. Oh, and it's got worse. Oh, and he's put it in the end of the wall. It just clipped on the right. You need to just tow that back to the pits, mate. That ain't going nowhere. Oh, no. Nightmare there for Victor Oliveira. Here's Matt Tempest. 11th place at the moment. He's got some good ground over Bram Klaas, but then Bram's got the class following him. Willem van Rassel, Jodnin Svetanov and Martin Postema all in there with him, trying to gain some ground. Postema, of course, was higher up in the order earlier. But after that incident, was knocked down a couple of pegs. Dan Mould, by the way, has got ahead, well, away from Sander Borst right now. He's actually opened up a bit of a gap as Dan Mould. The two Borsts not quite able to stay with them. The gap from Dan to Mark is currently about 0.6 of a second. And it's got a little bit bigger through those couple of corners too. Oh, Ronald Turfcroy has just had a bit of a moment, I think. He just dropped a bit of ground and a position. It seems all good now. Just trying to see what that difference is behind Bram Klaas with all these guys all over him. Postema's got past Yordneen Svetanov in the latter stages of that lap. Nearly 3 wide. Postema puts his nose in the middle. Oh, he's gone in hot and he's collected them. Oh, that's on Postema. Put his nose down the inside. Didn't keep his eye on his braking marker. And I imagine that Martin, to be honest, right now is not going to be the most popular driver in the field. That's 3 cars that he's gone into the back of in the space of less than 20 minutes. Obviously very simple mistakes to make, I must add. Not at all saying he's done it intentionally. It's just those moments. You could see that he looks to the middle and he thinks, I'll go for it. And then he gets on the brakes and then the car, just as he turns right, doesn't quite slow down how he wants. And somehow gets away with that, as the other cars have a lot of damage and have to pull over to one side. This is a great scrap, by the way, between our 2 previous champions, current reigning champion and obviously outgoing champion, Louis Correa. They have also got Amanul Labakis, a regular of the Sunday Drivers' Cup, just behind them. We're nearly a third of the way through this race, by the way, which has absolutely flown by. Draycott has opened up his gap at the moment, as there is the move from Szymanski down the inside of Tim Lancaster. Great to have these two together on track, actually, considering the link of the 2 names. Well, the name and the livery, anyway. Jakob down the inside. Look at the rear brake discs on Jakob's car there. Really glowing. Tim pushes it hard on the exit. Doesn't quite get alongside how he wants to. Speaking of being alongside how you want to, Kavisto down the inside of Correa, and oh, that's late on the brakes. Oh, that was clumsy by Amanul Labakis. Very clumsy indeed. Clatters into Louis Correa, and I think he's broken it. Correa out of the race. That's absolutely devastating. It's just moments like that. We've seen a lot of eagerness from drivers to outbrake one another, but it doesn't always result in a good thing. And that's really shaken up that fight now, which means Kalle Kavisto is free to go. Now, I must highlight these 2 drivers because Patrick Alders and Matt Tempest have gained 10 positions each. Also, Yordneen Svetanov has gained 12. Martin Smit has gained 10. René Zegelar has gained 13 positions, but tied as biggest movers in the field so far, Peter Reid and Robert van den Heuvel. They've gained 14 places each. Fantastic effort by them so far. Really good stuff. Further up the order, though, it's Sander Borst in 3rd place ahead of Patrick Borst. The 2 of them just trying to keep the lap times solid and go chasing after Dan Mold, but Dan now has fallen away from Mark Draycott a little bit. Draycott's last lap was a 56.3. Dan's was a 56.6. Still very quick times from Dan. He's about half a second faster than the cars behind him. Matt Tempest, by the way, definitely not represented properly by his qualifying performance. He qualified 18th on the grid, but he is going as quick as our race leaders right now. In the mid 56s. High 56 on that previous lap, but still epic, epic pace. Here's Mark Draycott, though. He's been supreme as leader so far. Fastest in practice was Dan Mold. Fastest in qualifying was Draycott. But now we have this awesome fight going on. Willem van Rassel's just had a bit of a moment on this lap and lost a bit of ground. He's got Martin Smit now having a go down the inside. Willem, of course, involved in the contact earlier, if I remember rightly. I've lost a number of very quick drivers from this race. Bram Klaas, Libby Correa, Martin Kerren, all out. Sandavara is still carrying on. He's had a fast repair and gone back out, which is good. He's just behind 3rd place and 4th place Borsts at the moment. Here's Stephen Edler. Next to him, Rutger Gerritsen, another driver that had damage early on. Some very bright green cars all around each other there. As in front goes Danny Shotbanger. Just cuts in front on the exit of the corner. Nice stuff. This is Patrick Alders in the middle of the field. 8th position at the moment. Not quite in the middle, but you know what I mean. He's in the middle of the fight. And just in the background there, I noticed Jordan Svetanov having a go at Amanullah Bacchus. I'm wondering what sort of damage Amanullah has after that earlier incident. Jordan, as always, coming through the field very, very well. Just cutting through the pack like a hot knife through butter, to quote the great Murray Walker. Look at the way that car pitches in through there. Great to see it. Putting a lot of pressure on Amanullah right now. Look at the way that you can turn into that corner. It's such an inviting corner. So easy to get it wrong through there, whether it's pushing too hard on the exit, cutting too much of the curb on the apex. Look at Jordan just hanging back a bit there, waiting for a bit of slipstream. And somehow, I think he held back a little bit too much there. Amanullah's disappeared down the road, down the straight. Looks like he's gone a little bit hot into there. No, apparently not. These things never look like they're stopping properly when they come into hairpins like that. Here's Tempest up to 7th place now. Matt Tempest going very well indeed. He's trying to shake off Patrick Alders and Roald Turfkroyer. But that's easier said than done. We've got Martin Smith in the pit lane. Trust me, that'll come back down in a second. He's just having his tyres changed. There you go. Looked a bit strange for a second, that, didn't it? We've got Jack Johns in the chat as well, the racing line. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you indeed. But Matt Tempest now starting to open up a gap slightly. What he wants here is Roald Turfkroyer to have a quick go at Patrick Alders, and never mind have a quick go. He's tried to drive her all the way around the outside of him. Down the inside he goes. His fellow number 1 and 2 enthusiast is now just behind him. Tries a cutback though, does Patrick. Moves onto his left-hand side. He's got an overlap. On the way into the hairpin they go. Hard onto the brakes now. The nose will dip down on both cars. They do try and squirm around on the brakes to these things. Amanullah Bacchus still under attack from Jordan Svetanov as well. Svetanov can't get the job done there. Back to this though. Alders still trying to get back past Turfkroyer. And the Dutch driver, well, they're both Dutch drivers. They've both sort of navigated that corner. Look at that, Roald going very defensive on the inside there out of the final corner. That's not going to work, son. That's just going to give the run to Patrick down the straight. Side by side they go. Hard onto the brakes goes Patrick. Roald fits in just behind him then. Back at the front, by the way, Mark Riker is now only 0.4 of a second ahead of Dan Mould. Thank you, Mr. Johns. Much appreciated. But Dan is really starting to close again now, so this gap has gone down. And this battle is not over, I'll be honest with you. I thought when Mark had got it to over a second that he'd started to clear Dan, and that was it. Because his pace has been so consistent. Just seemed like he could just edge it out that bit by bit, but he was half a second slower on that previous lap. So Dan's doing something right here, and he needs to keep on doing that, because before you know it, he could be ahead of Mark Riker. Gerritsen and Shotbanger, by the way, are having a good old scrap further down the order. You can see their names changing around quite a bit on the timing tower. We've got a few drivers coming into the pits at this point as well. A few of them making some earlier stops than their competitors around them. Wondering what the most is that you can get out of these limited fuel tanks in this race. We expect
Well, we expected 2 pit stops. One just before the half-hour mark as Dan goes a little bit hot into turn 1, but seems to work for him. Look at that, he's carried the pace well. But we expected to have 2 stops. One before the half-hour mark and then one maybe about 10 minutes before the end. That would really spice it up. But I think these guys might make it to the half-hour mark and then potentially the end of the race. Great fight though between these guys. Then we've got the 2 Borsts further back. Patrick now ahead of Sander. He's just done that as well. Just into turn 1. Plenty of room given there. Lovely stuff. You can see the way the cars just float around Shivlak. It's brilliant to see. These cars really do float around quite a bit. You know, you can probably push them into a corner. You might get a bit of understeer, but then sometimes you get a bit of oversteer from the back of the car. It's all about just managing the momentum mid-corner and helping it float through. Here's the battle of the 2 green peas in a pod. This is Danny Schottvanger having a shot down the inside of Rutger Gerritsen. And he's saying, nah, you Gerrit, son. Very close indeed, though. I hope you like green, because we're going to be looking at a lot of it for the next few minutes. Looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, doesn't it? Gerritsen's car. Not quite sure which the purple one was. I'm really, really disappointed in myself for having to admit that, but still. Teenage Mutant Ninja Mazdas, I should say. Oh, there you go. You can't do a pun if you're going to say the wrong word, Chaz. Anyway, Danny Schottvanger piling on the pressure at the moment. Rutger Gerritsen, though, absorbing it at this present moment in time. This is a very difficult part of the circuit to try and defend on. It's very difficult to just get right in general. It's a very wide part of the track, very flowing. Usually only one line through here, but if you are going to attack, you can properly ruin the momentum of the other driver on circuit, but still, good stuff by the 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles currently. Sander Borst is in the pits. Again, it will come down to earth in a sec. He's just getting the tyres changed. Interesting to see him taking tyres, though. That will take a while. I do not expect everyone to take tyres here. I think some drivers will save the amount of time it takes. Let's see what the pit stop is like for Martin Postema. He has a fast repair. Does he take tyres? Going to wait for the car to go up. We're over the half-hour mark as well now, so drivers will make it to the end. Looks like Postema... Doesn't look like he's even taking tyres, but Sander Borst's pit stop was 30 seconds. Postema's is now over that. No, it is 30 seconds, but he did not take tyres, so not quite sure what the difference is between the 2 there, but either way, he's definitely not on fresh rubber, because that car did not go up or down, did it? Either that or I was looking at the timing tower that long, I didn't see it move. Anyway, Mark Reichert still leads this race. Are we going to see him and Dan Mould come in this time round? I'd expect so. Oh, we've had an incident, actually. I think Martin Postema and Jacob Money have come together. Into the pits we go. What are these pit entries like then, boys? Lovely. Lovely stuff. Martin Postema and Jacob Money both went off the road here. This is straight out of the pit lane. Oh! Jacob just turned in. I think he expected Martin to be a bit further back. And then straight back to it. I love that. Straight back to the fight, aren't they? Let's keep our eye on these 2 at the front of the field. When they come out of the pits, where will they be? They've opened up a big old gap to Patrick Borst as well. There goes the number 13 machine out of the pits. That's Stephen Edler. Pit stops coming up to 25, 26, 7. It was 30 seconds before. 8, 9. Should get going now. 30, 1. Bit longer than Patrick Borst's stop. Sorry, Sander Borst's stop. But they come out pretty much as they were beforehand. I'd say, if anything, Mark Reichert's actually gained a bit of time there. 1.2 seconds is now the gap. He did spend 0.6 of a second less in the pits. That's what the difference can be sometimes. I'll show you on the left-hand side how many drivers have made their stops. That's Van den Heuvel that is moving up the order, but he's just not pitted yet. He's not actually stopped in his box, so pretty much everyone has completed their first stop, and the gaps and everything will stabilise themselves in due course. This is Martin Postema, hoping that Jacob Money's going to stabilise himself in due course. Looks down the inside, makes his intentions very clear. Manages to get it stopped. Jacob Money carries some good speed around the outside. Manages to stay in front. Postema trying to put the pressure on though. We've seen how feisty he can be so far. Just hope for Jacob Money's sake that it doesn't end up in more contact. But after the first round of stops then, Draycott leads the way from Dan Mould, Sander Borst, Patrick Borst. Ronald Moons has creeped his way up into 5th ahead of Kalle Kavisto.
And then we have Rutger Gerritsen. Rico Schmidt, by the way, started 25th on the grid and is now 8th. Jordanin Svetanov, who's currently 11th, started 23rd. So brilliant, brilliant drives by those guys so far. Sorry, 21st on the grid was Rico Schmidt. Not 25th. My maths is absolutely awful. Rutger Gerritsen is within half a second of Kalle Kavisto as well. I think Rutger put a very early stop in, actually. When did he stop in the pits? He stopped on lap 5. He only had 13 seconds in the pits, so I think Rutger, to be fair, is out of sync in terms of the pit stops there, so that isn't on complete merit, I'm afraid, that position. He was involved in one of the early incidents, so he will be pitting again very soon. And yes, you're right, actually, from what we've seen tonight of Martin Postema, he's a very feisty driver, isn't he? Very aggressive, very attacking driver. It's very entertaining to watch, though. Very entertaining indeed. Let's see what he does this time. Down the inside of Jacob Money. Late on the brakes. A bit too late for my liking. Jacob gets a lovely cutback. Absolutely has one over on him there. Just outdid himself a little bit there. There's Martin Schmidt behind him as well. That's for position. Martin just waiting to see what comes his way for the 2G Parts and Automotive Racing team. Sorry, 2G Parts and Equipment Limited team. Run, I believe, by David Gedders, who I don't think we have on the grid tonight, unfortunately. David, the Canadian driver, one of the absolute staples of the Sunday Drivers' Cup, though. Really top bloke. He sends a lot of pictures into the WhatsApp group of the unbelievable snow that he has out there in Canada. Jacob Money there, by the way, having a very, very wild ride onto the grass. Let's see how this went. Look at the understeer, 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 and then it's going to skate itself around all over the grass and the gravel. Looks a lot more dramatic outside the car, but still, he carries on. René Zegelaar in the iRacing Netherlands machine has got Aminul Labakis and Willem van Rassel behind him. It's the South African driver in a Dutchman sandwich at the moment. And the top 25, as you see them on the left there, all still on the lead lap. At this moment in time, there's contact as they go into the hairpin. They both overdid it a little bit. Oh, look at that. Aminul tries to get out of the way of Willem van Rassel. He tries to go around the outside, and eventually the two make contact. Aminul probably not very pleased about that, but he didn't know the car was there, I don't think. He just ran a bit wide. Willem gives him a very wide berth this time round, it has to be said. Another quick look at that. We've gone a bit further back than that, apologies. And now it's taken us to the wrong battle. Brilliant. Here we go. So Aminul drives it in very deep. Zegelaar's already made the mistake, and then it was all very clumsy by Aminul Labakis there. He made a clumsy mistake earlier on as well. He's not really painted himself in the best light here, has he? But still, I mean, the car has shown how battered and bruised it can get and still carry on at race pace, so
Fair play, Mazda makes some very beefy little cars, don't they? They can put up with a lot. Look at the banged out of shape Willem van Rassel car there. Tries to look down the inside. Oh, forces Amanullah to use all of the road. And now opens up a bit of a gap. Back to the Dutchman in the number 99 machine. And just see that white line getting closer and closer. It's so scary going into there. But Bacchus now trying to suddenly go from being an attacker to a defender. They're coming from a bit more. Martin Postema's off. Martin Postema's had a big off. Tim Lancaster's just had an off as well. He's managed to come back on. But Martin Postema has jumped back to the pits, and the front left of that car is completely done in. What's he done here? Pushing hard. Is he going to clip the gravel? He is. Tries to catch it. Oh, it spits it over. Oh, that's a big old hit into the barrier. Breaks the front left, digs into the ground. And Martin Postema's eagerness, I'd say, has caught up with him there, I'm afraid. Real shame to see. I was very excited to see how he got on in the latter stages of the race as well. See how far he could get back up through the order. See what other drivers he could fight with. Right now, though, the only man in this race that is in the position he started in is Mark Reichert, leading this race from Dan Mould, 2.1 seconds back. He's then got nearly 8 seconds over Sander Borst. Patrick Borst then another 3 seconds back. Ronald Moon's currently in 5th place, the Belgian going very well. Kalle Kavisto 6th. Rutger Gerritsen 7th ahead of Matt Tempest. Patrick Alders in 9th, and Jordanin Svetanov rounds out our top 10. Biggest mover in the field so far. It's actually a tie between Robert van den Heuvel and René Zegelaar, who have gained 15 positions each. Great racing from those guys. Hope you're enjoying the stream, of course, so far, everybody that is watching. Thank you very much for joining us so far this evening. Still got 20 minutes of this race left to go, but make sure in that time that you do, of course, like the stream and, of course, share it as well if you've enjoyed what you've seen, and subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media. Hopefully this will not be the last broadcast that you see of this wonderful championship. I will be aiming to race in the 2022 Sunday Drivers' Cup as well next season in my lovely little Zandshow Simsport MX-5. Hoping to come away from the championship wearing that number there, the number 1, after the 2022 season. Mark Reichert, though, showing us how it's done so far. You have to give a word for Dan Mould, though. He's been very persistent in chasing him down. He's pushed very hard indeed. Car off the road there is Henrico Puttenstein, just staying out of the way of everybody. Fair play to him. But Dan Mould's been really strong so far. All it could take is one mistake from Mark Reichert, and it could completely hand this to Dan. But you never know. This is motorsport. Anything can happen. It usually does. Look at this weaving down the straight here from Willem van Rassel, trying to get Zegelaar and Bacchus out of that distorted air behind him. Pushing very hard indeed on the brakes into turn 1. In terms of the pit stops, it looks like everyone's been in the pits for about half a minute. Sander Vara was in there for 2 minutes 45, but that's of course because of his damage. Roel Turfcourier was in the pits for 1 minute and 10 seconds as well. Quite a long stop for him. Not quite sure why that was, if I'm utterly honest with you. This is Tim Lancaster with Robert van den Heuvel trying to make it 16 places gained in this race and be the highest... No, not the highest gainer. The biggest mover in the field, if Chaz gets his words right. I'm sorry, everyone. But Robert van den Heuvel pushing hard right now. It's a very distractingly bright car in front of him of Tim Lancaster. It's not quite the camouflage you'd expect on a Lancaster. But still, good chase so far by Robert van den Heuvel. Started 33rd on the grid. Apparently behind me. Look at this now. Lancaster knows that he's starting to come under attack a little bit. A lot of lock going on from both of them there. They're pushing very hard. Down the gears we go. Revs are very low here from Robert van den Heuvel. He's not pushing too hard. He's driving in a really reserved way here to make sure he doesn't hit the back of Tim Lancaster. It's respectful chasing, I must say. Uses a lot of lock round there. Climbs up through the revs once again. Sequential gearboxes in these MX-5s now, let's not forget. They are no longer the H pattern that they used to be. They are sequential boxes and a lot more difficult to get off the line quickly. Plenty of lot going on here. Oh, Tim's just caught the curb, but Van den Heuvel not able to benefit from it. Rutger Gerritsen, by the way, into the pits. So Zegelaar has officially gained 16 places. Now he becomes the biggest mover in the field. He's ahead of Willem van Rassel, who's going to look back down the inside. Then Backus looks down the inside of him. Oh, it's nearly the second time in the race that we've seen Van Rassel get into contact with Aminola down there, is it not? Actually, no, apologies. It wasn't Aminola that went into him. Aminola hit Louis Correa, didn't he? Into there. Willem all over the back of Zegelaar right now. And Zegelaar's off the road. How much momentum is he going to lose from that? I don't think it's enough to change the positions around. Still just over 15 minutes of this race left to go now. Not too long at all. It's been a supreme drive so far by Mark Rykert. Rutger Gerritsen has just overtaken Peter Reed a little bit further down. He moves up into 15th position now. Sandoir has come into the pits. He now goes one lap down, but we still have drivers on the lead lap. 24 of them, in fact. Xavi Lopez is going to be the next one to be lapped. I met Xavi Lopez, actually, when I went to Spain as well. I saw him with Sander. We all went out for some lovely food on a rooftop bar. It was great. Xavi's another one that's always been in the championship. He's really got quicker and quicker as time has gone on. We need to look at this, though, I'm afraid. Not this, this. Sorry, Martin. No disrespect, Martin, but there you go. There's Martin Smith. We will look at him for a second. But behind him, René Zegelaar has got Willem van Rassel and Aminola Backus chasing him down. Oh, Henrico Puttenstein's had an off. And he has unfortunately had to jump back to the pits. More weaving goes on to try and negate any slipstream that these cars get. They do punch a big old hole in the air to these MX-5s. They're quite chubby little things. Is Willem going to be late on the brakes? He is. Oh no, and Aminola's later on the brakes. Nearly goes into the back of him. But that was a scary moment for René Zegelaar there. Flipping out. But ultimately, Willem van Rassel goes back in front. Great scrap by these three. Really enjoying watching this. They're throwing everything at it. Look how aggressively they're going through the corners here. Lead gap has come down again, by the way. 1.4 seconds now. Rykert back to Dan Mould. It was 2.1 seconds earlier. Last lap, Dan was 0.2 of a second quicker. So the chase is very much still on here. Tiny little clip of the gravel there. That's not going to hurt him. I really do love that livery, it has to be said. Across the line then goes Rykert. Starts lap 24 of this race. 15 minutes still to go. Plenty can change in that time. There are series that run 15-minute sprint races all over the world and in the sim racing world as well. And we all know how much can happen in that time. There's Tim Lancaster still with Robert van den Heuvel behind him, so he's managed to open up the gap a little bit now to about 0.6 of a second. He's run a little bit deep though. That was perfect actually by Tim Lancaster. Used just the perfect amount of road. Kissed the curb on the left-hand side, didn't hit the grass. Lovely stuff through there. Into the left-hand hairpin before the run down to the chicane. Not using all of the road through there, but just making sure that the car pitches in a way that they want it to. Now Mark Rykert, I'm thinking, might have used his tyres up here. Dan Mould is now 10 seconds clear of Sander Borst, and he's only 1.1 seconds behind Mark for the lead, so we will go back and look at that in just a moment. Willem van Rassel is clear of these two. These guys actually having a good scrap now. Aminola Backus down the inside of René Zegelaar. It's not quite working. There's not an overlap right now. What's it going to be like as they go into the braking zone for turn one? René just pulls in front. Make sure that he holds onto that position. Aminola gets on the brakes mid-corner. Rides the curb a bit. Now someone that needs to be concerned, actually, Robert van den Heuvel now has got Rico Schmidt behind him. Rico's been very, very quick so far in this race. Just unfortunately dropped down early on, later on the brakes, and down the inside he goes. Gets the move done. That's 18th place for Rico. I can confirm that biggest mover in the field is still René Zegelaar. 16 places now. 14 places for Martin Smit, 14 for Yodnin Svetanov, who is currently in 9th. But not long to go at all. Lead gap 1.2 seconds. Dan Mold 10.6 seconds clear of Sander Bourse now. So that gap is getting bigger and bigger all of the time. And for the first time in a couple of laps there, actually, the gap went down to just over a second from Dan. So this fantastic persistence from Dan. Great to watch. He used to be part of the Ignium Motorsport team. Still might be part of Ignium or Sim Racing Leagues. But this insignia branding, very, very nice to look at. Look at the way these cars dance around over there. The steering inputs so precise. We've got a car around by the look of it. That was Xavi Lopez had been off. Oh no, it was not actually. Who was that on the inside? There's cars on the apex. That's a scary, scary moment there for race leader Mark Draycott. Oh, Peter Reed's just had a moment as well. Who was that they were going past there? Further down, is that? No, Shotbanger's just there behind Robert van den Heuvel. I think Xavi Lopez went off the road, you know. Ah, okay, so he was with the number 33. That's Bart Verkerk. Xavi looks down the inside. Big contact. That's where the smoke came from. The two of them get stuck together. Is there going to be more contact now and they're going to go over to the right? No, they both slow down because they have the leaders coming through, but Bart Verkerk, whoa, just about getting missed there by race leader. This is Shotbanger having a go at Robert van den Heuvel. Van den Heuvel just very graciously says, "After you, good sir. You go on through." And Dan Mold that far over to the right there that it registered him going in the pit lane. I'm not sure if you saw that on the timing tower on the left-hand side, but Dan using all of the road on the right to try and get some sort of slipstream off Mark. Further down, Zegelaar is now under pressure from Jakub Szymanski, who has managed to infiltrate his way between Zegelaar and Bacchus. Maybe it's the invasion stripes on Jakub's car that helped him do that. He certainly invaded this fight. He's now down the inside of Bacchus. Is he going to be able to get it done later on the brakes into here? We've seen Amanullah go very late on the brakes a number of times so far. Two of them stay side by side. Brake discs glowing through there. Can Jakub get a cutback? Looks like he's got a nice run, but I don't think it's enough for now. 10 minutes the race left to go. Jakub puts his nose down the inside, tries to scare Amanullah into a mistake. No such mistake comes his way. Bjorn van Impe's unfortunately been off the road. This is where he had his incident before. Just runs a bit wide on the exit of the hairpin. Oh, just keeps it out of the wall. Fair play, mate. Fair play indeed. Just behind him there was this man, Ronald Moons, in 5th position at the moment, having a very, very strong race. Started 7th on the grid. Matt Tempest as well has to be mentioned here. He started 18th. He's inside the top 10. Yodnin Svetanov as well. Started 23rd. He's now inside the top 10. Same with Martin Smit, 24th into the top 10. Battles going on all over the place. Very brightly coloured cars on our screen right now. Our Tim Lancaster, Danny Shotbanger, who has a shot down the inside, turns it into a shot banger. Tim Lancaster moving around, probably not too impressed with that either. He's got Jacob Money behind, needs to make sure that he lets the driver on a lap ahead of him through. Jacob doesn't really give him much choice. He says, "Come on, mate, I need you to shift, please." Actually, no, sorry, that was for position. I thought Jacob was a lap ahead, but obviously he's had that incident earlier. So now he's on the fight back. So Jacob, very, very last second there, going down the inside. And we have to go back to this. I'm sorry, we do keep coming back to this, but this is the overall race lead battle. Dan Mold now within 0.6 of a second of Mark Draycott. Dan could still do this here. Through the long right-hander at Shivlak they go.
Look at the way the cars dance one way than the other. Tiny bits of steering input. In this car, you really don't want to put more lock on than you need. You just need to put the minimum amount of lock possible to just not put too much temperature laterally through those tyres. Nicely clipped on the apex there for Dan. Martin in the chat saying, you're streaming really pro, this is awesome. Thank you very much, mate. For those that don't know, I do commentary in the real world as well. The real world of motorsport. On the Clio Cup Europe this year and the European Truck Racing Championship. Hoping for more in 2022 as well. But a one-man band of a broadcast right now as well. Doing all of the overlay and the streaming itself, and of course the commentary on what I am clicking on. So I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it, mate. In terms of joining the league for next year, we are full at the moment in Sunday Drivers' Cup as far as I know. But there is a reserve list in case drivers don't get in straight away. So if you do want to get in, then you can get on the reserve list, and when drivers do drop out, then you'll be called to action, I'm sure. And we're going to leave Dan Mold to carry on chasing. There's only 6.5 minutes of this race left to go. Zeglar is just clear of Aminul Abacus and Jakub Szymanski, who are right together. Jacob Money's actually having a go at Shotvanger. Side by side they go. Jacob down the inside is the right hand, and not got an overlap there. Actually, he does reopen the door. Shotvanger gives him the room on the right hand side. Lovely stuff, and Jacob Money goes through. Started 5th on the grid, did Jacob. So he's going to be a bit gutted to be this far down the order. Patrick Aldez under pressure from Yodnin Svetanov right now. Yodnin, another amazing performance so far by the Bulgarian. It's been brilliant, brilliant driving from him. We've come to love this in Sunday Drivers' Cup from Yodnin. Both of them go way too, well, not way too hot, just a little bit too hot into turn 1. Pushing very hard indeed. Yodnin continues to pile the pressure on. He is absolutely relentless, let me tell you that for free. Having raced Yodnin multiple times across very different circuits, he is relentless. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant to race against. Great fun. Leaves nothing on the table at all. Really pushes hard. And this attack of... Oh, hello. He's left an apex on the table there, I think. Sorry. 5 minutes to go here at Zandvoort. Not long at all. That's only going to be, based on where we are now, as the leaders are just about to cross the line, that is going to be, I think, 3 more laps. As, oh no, Aminul Abacus is off the road. Manages to save it, or does he? Yep, he saves it. Interesting point to note there of what we saw about Mark Reichert there. Across the line, rather than weaving gently down the straight, he really chucked it hard to the right, and I've got to think that might wash off more speed than just weaving gently, you know. He may get Dan out of the slipstream very quickly, but I don't think the effect would be that great for the amount of speed that you've lost. The gap has actually come down even more now, half a second between the two. It's been car 1, P1 almost all night. But Dan Mold wanting to change that right now. Great chase though, it's been going on all race long. It's not died out at all because of the pit stop halfway through. Yodnin Svetanov has had an issue. Yodnin's dropped down. Looks to the inside. Oh, Yodnin, no, that was way over aggressive. Way over aggressive. Doesn't need to chuck it in that hard. I mean, it wasn't making the apex anyway. It was turning in way too early. I think it's a good thing that Patrick Alders managed to get away with that, to be honest. Not sure what the damage is like on Alders' car. Looks pretty alright, to be fair, doesn't it? It's held up well, but yeah, that was very clumsy indeed there from Svetanov. I know I was just bigging him up, but one of those drivers that has those moments, it seems. I think we all do, don't we? Let's face it. Nothing wrong with it. We're all human. 3 minutes to go then in this race. We're going to get 2 more laps. Mark Reichert needs to hold on here ahead of that man there. Looks like a dot on the horizon right now, but I tell you for free, that is not a big gap at all. Mark all the way over to the right-hand side. Waits for the wall to close in.
At the end of the day, Dan's going to follow him in the slipstream wherever he goes, so there's not much point doing it, if you ask me. He's just washing off his own speed, but look at the speed Dan carries through there. That's brilliant through turn 1. Up the gears they go. A little pop as well on the upshift. It's added a bit of rasp and a bit of life into the MX-5. Has the sequential gearbox. Then again, I mean, it's a lively car anyway. If you haven't driven it on iRacing and you are subscribed to the service, I do greatly recommend it. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Over the crest of the hill we go once again. 2 minutes left. Not long at all if Dan is going to get this job done, but he's getting closer and closer. The gap now 0.3 of a second. He's trail braking around there, uses the curb. I think he might have just pushed a little bit too hard through that right-hander. It's cost him a couple of tenths, but he's not dropped away massively, let's face it. He's still there. These two really have been the class of the field so far. Sander Borst and Patrick Borst still going well in 3rd and 4th places. But unfortunately some 16 seconds back from our lead battle. We'll stick with these guys to the end unless something severe happens further down, because this is going to ultimately decide the race winner and the driver that will be declared as the master of MX-5s here at Zandvoort. Now Dan is in a very strong position here to get some solid slipstream now. This is probably the closest he's been all race to do this. 1/4 of a second between them. Let's go. One more lap here at Zandvoort. Dan just continues in a straight line. He realises that Mark is just washing off speed in doing what he's doing. He's got a good slingshot. Moves over to the right. Oh, maybe a bit too aggressively, though. That could have been a very, very big accident. On the brakes. He's making sure he's not touching the back of that car. Fair play to him. I'm sure we all know that guy that would probably just push through the back of that car there with no remorse. But Dan is making sure that this is a good, fair fight. He's pushing so hard. Big lock-up on the way in there. Amanullah Bacchus has gone off again, I think. Or is it Rutger Gerritsen? Oh, the two of them have had a bit of a moment. But this is the final lap of the race. The timer is just about to hit the 1 hour mark. In 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oh, it can't make its mind up now. It's typical, isn't it? Oh, you've got to love that. Oh, we've got cars off. Szymanski's off, big time. We've also got Zegelar off the road. We'll have to come back and look at that one. Looks like big contact on the exit. But this right now is the battle for the race win. Mark Riker has led every single lap of this race. And he's going to hope that it stays that way right to the flag. Dan Mould is going to push so hard. It's all about that run out of the final corner for Dan Mould. A little bit of gravel there on the exit. That's not going to hurt him too much. Chucks it in. A little bit later onto the apex there was Mark. That's going to give him a good push out of here. Dan is a bit further back than he was last time. I don't think he's going to be able to slipstream past him. Around the final corner we go. Checkered flag is at the ready. And it's waved in the air for Mark Riker. Fantastic drive, fantastic win. Dan Mould, amazing chase all the way to the flag. Great racing from the pair of them. They may not have been battling door to door and overtaking each other lap after lap, but that was a really intense motor race in multiple ways there. What a fantastic chase. Sander Borst grabs a podium. Very, very well done to the Dutch driver on home soil, the highest placed of them. Ronald Moons has actually overtaken Patrick Borst in the final couple of laps here, and he is going to take 4th position. Great drive by Ronald Moons. Patrick Borst has run out of fuel. He's crawling to the line. Where's Kalle Kavisto? Here he is. He's going to get a freebie and he's going to get a top 5. Give him a push, Kalle. Patrick's going to just creep to the line. He is going to cross the line. Oh, Matt Tempest was slowing down there to let him keep the position for a sec, but realised he wasn't going to stop in time. Patrick Borst is classified 7th. Or is he? Is that the checkered flag there? There's the line. Patrick Alders is going to be next up. Then Jordanin Svetanov. And Rutger Gerritsen He's currently on his way to round out our top 10. It's where he started on the grid as well, so the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle has managed to make his way back through the pack. Despite a later pit stop and the incident earlier on, very well done to Rutger Gerritsen. That's a fantastic recovery drive. And Peter Reid is going to be our biggest mover in the field. Started 30th on the grid, gets a 12th place finish. Very well done to Peter Reid. That's a brilliant, brilliant drive, son. Nicely done. But the race and the result belongs to Mark Riker. A fantastic victory and a very well-deserved one at that. He worked so hard for that. Dan Mould put in an incredible chase as well, it has to be said. We've had a couple of moments just before the end of the race that I want to have a quick look back at. This is Jakub Szymanski and René Zegelar getting into trouble. Oh, Zegelar just lost it. They locked wheels and whoa, that's a very, very odd accident. Luckily, they didn't get caught up with the drivers coming through from behind. But Mark Riker is your race winner, and we will now take a quick look over the race results for you all. And there it is confirmed. Mark Riker from Glowing Disc Motorsport takes the win. Dan Mould finishing in second place. Sander Borst rounds out the podium, but 19 seconds back from our top two. That shows just how quick they really were. Ronald Moons finishes fourth, about half a minute down, but great result all the same, ahead of 2021 Sunday Drivers' Cup champion Kalle Kavisto. Then it was Matt Tempest, a great drive by Matt to be fair, started 18th on the grid. Patrick Borst ended up 7th after running out of fuel on the final tour. Patrick Alders finishes in 8th ahead of Jordanin Svetanov and Rutger Gerritsen. Amanullah Backus was 11th ahead of Peter Reid, with Jacob Money 13th after a strong recovery drive from him. René Zegelar is 14th ahead of Rico Schmidt, another driver recovering early on. Willem van Rassel was 16th ahead of Roald Turfkroyer and Dami Schottlanger in 18th. 19th was Tim Lancaster, holding off Jakub Szymanski to the end. Robert van den Heuvel finished in 21st place, with Martin Smit, the first car, one lap down in 22nd. Joining in one lap down were Xavi Lopez, Bjorn van Imp, Sander Vara, Bart Verkerk and Steven Edler, with Henrico Puttenstein classified 28th, 10 laps down. The other drivers not finishing were Martin Postema, Louis Correa, Bram Klaas, Victor Oliveira and Martin Kerren. And of course, that idiot Chaz Draycott not even starting the race. But still, what a fantastic event this has been. Plenty of fun. I was hoping that we would get some driver interviews by the end of this one, but it looks like at the moment people are still just enjoying the moment. But we will have a quick look back at the moment where Mark crossed the line and took the win. The eventual gap back to Dan Mould was only a quarter of a second, which after an hour of racing in these cars really does show how close they can be and how enjoyable it can be to watch. Hope you've all enjoyed the show as well. And obviously, congratulations to Mark Riker. He is classified as the Master of MX-5s here at Zandvoort. And especially after having to defend from Dan Mould for that long, certainly was a very, very impressive drive. And do I want Porsche Sport to jump in for interviews? After the performance in the interview waiting room yesterday, I'm all right. But thank you very much for the offer, Luke. Thank you very much indeed. Well, that's your result, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed the show. Of course, make sure that you do subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media. I can tell you this will not be the last time that I broadcast an event for these guys. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I hope you've all enjoyed the show. Obviously, thank you very much for jumping in and joining me. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the Zandvoort Masters of MX-5, and I will see you again all very, very soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Can't make it go up.